Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you for being here on the second day of the Knockout Summit. It's almost the end. And today we will speak about us, La Chaise Bascule, and a tool that we very much like, Coda. And we are very pleased to welcome Federico, and we will present ourselves. But as an introduction, we are very pleased to welcome Federico because this is the first time that Coda is participating in a conference in Europe. So we are very honored to have Federico here, and that we managed to convince Coda to send Federico to present this tool and what we can do in the perspective of AI, which is the theme of the whole conference. So to be quick, I'm Luca. I'm a no-code consultant. I build products with no-code tools, and I'm part of a collective, a freelance collective that is called La Chaise Bascule that will present you further.
And as said, I'm Federico. I will have some time to present myself. Very excited to be here. And as said, it's the very first time that kind of officially Coda is outside of the US and hopefully presenting you something that is exciting on the AI side.
Hey, and I'm Elise, no-code consultant at La Chaise Bascule. So yeah, very happy here to be with you, Federico, to talk about Coda and be with you, Lucas. So let's go.
Okay, thanks. So first of all, we would like to have a word with you with La Chaise Bascule. Maybe you saw our booth in the Knockout Summit. We are very pleased to participate to this summit. We are a collective of freelance. We are a no-code agency. We are made of 3 people, Elise, Celine, and myself. And we specialized in crafting customized tools for clients, internal tools that are aiming at automatize their process. We also provide no-code training. We want to raise awareness about digital impact, and our specificity is that we only work for clients that are that have a positive impact on the planet or on the people. We share values of positive business, and we have, as a team, also skills in that field and knowledge in that sector. Prior of being a no-code consultant, I was working 4 years as an impact venture capitalist in Paris, investing in a lot of innovative startups in that field. Céline is also a good reference in the economy sociale and solidaire in France. And Elise accompanies great companies in that field, notably Le Pavé, which is an innovative startup that are doing recycled plastic for construction. So to have a quick word, our philosophy is that with no code we can empower organization and positive organization to focus on their impact. With no code, we have like a short development time. We have iterative method to provide them with efficient tools, so they can focus on their impact, on maximizing their impact, and unleashing them the power to scale and to do more and to do it better. We also we are very committed to already to use the tools that are already they are already using, and to fit to their business needs, and to develop only what they need to go further. So at the end, we have like this philosophy of accompanying the client, the customer, from 0 to 10 and to 100, meaning that we have skills in designing solutions, we have skills in making the solutions, and then we think it's very important also to integrate and to teach the employees, the end users, to make their tool really used at the scale of the company, and that they can after that also add other functionalities, other features by themselves, because that's what no code is made for. So today, of course, as an agency, we have the usual suspects as tools. We use Airtable, Make, and other tools that you may know. And there is a tool that we began to use that is less known in Europe, but that we very much like. And today, that's the aim of this conference, that we want to raise awareness about Coda and its capabilities. And so, without taking further time, I will introduce Federico that will have a presentation of Coda as a company and as a tool, and then we will see a real life use case about the new features of AI that Coda integrated into their product. So Federico, you have the mic.
Thank you so much, Luca. So, again, good afternoon, everybody. Very, very quickly, who is myself? It's Federico. I'm a very technical background. I've been a computer engineer for many years. That I founded my own startup, and like 90% of the startup didn't go well, but obviously it's not something that is affecting you. All of you will be successful for sure. And in 2019, I had the chance as a customer to know Coda as it was coming out of beta, and I fell in love with the product. So luckily enough, I became one of the most active members of that community at that time. Then I became a Coda consultant when my company closed. And finally, very proudly, I became the first non-US and still the one non-US employee of Coda as a solutions architect. Today, by the way, any one of you already knows Coda? How many? Okay, the ones that know will have a bit of brief history. The other ones can go and type coda.io on the browser to have an idea of what Coda is. So very, very quick history. And so what we always like to say that Coda is an app as powerful as a dog. Sorry, a dog as powerful as an app. And this is my English sometimes. I don't want to bother you with data, but the point is that this is something related, especially in the enterprise context. But there is a recent survey related with the fact that every single employee has more or less 2,000 documents, and there is more than 250 SaaS solutions on an enterprise level. And if you had work on any enterprise company or corporate company, you do understand that. It is insane. The point is that things are coming increasingly. You know how many SaaS are launching every year. So what is called the productivity canyon here is that there is a gap because every time an employee needs to know so many things, and it's very hard to keep them aligned, especially if it's related with the productivity, so on the daily aspect of work. Again, don't want to bother you with this, but the context is that how if we keep on having what we call the document experience. Everybody that we have to do something, you know, draft an idea or taking some data, either we open Word or we open an Excel sheet every time. Why? Because it's familiar. It's super intuitive. It's simple. And so instead of changing the concept of creating other application, how about keeping the document experience but enriching with something that is more powerful? And it's hard for a SaaS company actually to define versions, but in 2019, Coda went out of beta. It's when I knew the company itself, and the concept was stay organized. So the building blocks, so the components that are available to Coda were already there. So canvas, so text, tables, controls, so buttons and automations, and formula. And the concept was stay organized, so the first collaborative tool. In Coda 2.0, we shifted from individual to teams, introducing workspaces, introducing cross-doc, and so the first data connectivity among docs. And it was the first billing, it was the first payable version of doc. And by the way, if you have time, I would like to talk a bit more about the paying policies of Coda, which is not on a user base, but on a maker base. Only the people that create documents pay. Coda 3.0, it was last year, and it was the ecosystem. Coda launched what it's called packs. So everyone can add additional functions, so user-defined functions or integration with other tools within Coda, allowing to have more, broader and wide perspective of a collective tool. And finally, this year, few days ago, I'm super excited because it was the 5th of October, so it's really new. We launched Coda 4.0. And it's one place because we are really aiming to have one place where, from a productivity perspective, every employee feels free to go in order to get information and get their own processes going on. Coda 4.0 is mainly with, let's say that the main three parts, I'm sure that, yeah, exactly. So first of all, it's having a full increased alignment with two ways synchronization. So not only we have a data connectivity from document to document, but it's possible to change for each of the part of the document, so it's really connected data, and it's not only read-only. Coda AI, which is what we are talking today, and also a huge set of ready-to-go solutions, so both from a department perspective and a persona perspective, specific use cases that are guiding you to understand how tackle specific problems or specific set of activities. So, without waiting more, it's a bit, let me just go to the page. I would like to present, here we go. So today, by the way, I'm not talking about Coda itself. You will have Elise and Luca that will have a full knowledge of Coda, and they will be the reference point in terms of how Coda works. Today, specifically on the Coda AI, so the AI functionality that we embedded within the tool in order to increase the productivity. And I have prepared three basic examples. First one is kind of the most obvious one. And how many of you are using ChatGPT in order to, provide further information or summarize things? And this is the first thing that we added. So in Coda, there is what it's called the AI assistant, so the AI chat, and there is the possibility to put any question, and the question can be related with the page. Very soon it will be, it's already in beta, but it's the full document or just the selection, so we can contextualize what is our question, and it provides information. So in this case, I just provided what are the typical HR policy for whatever company, just for the sake of, I can put it here, and this is from Knowledge Assistant for a user perspective. Maybe I can make it bigger. And please ask me if you don't see it. Can everybody see what it's here? Okay. So from a user perspective, it is just adding any kind of question, and obviously it is providing information related with the context. It's thinking because the network is not super easy, but let's see, it's not super fast. And this is the typical demo outcome. Oh, here we go. So this is kind of a summarize of what is the context, of course. So what it is important is that it's fully embedded with what is inside. I don't want, by the way, let me see if, yeah, we still have time. And aside from any kind of elaboration, and then again, generative elaboration of the context itself, the AI can also provide, and it's basically, let's say that, I don't know, let's put it this one, provide comment with a suggested simplification. I can just put it here. And so, even I just want to add and to ask the Coda assistant to provide some, yeah. Here we go. to provide some comments, and so use the document, and so starting to adding functionalities within the document to add additional information. In this case, what I'm asking is that I just selected this text. You can't see it because there is no enough contrast, but I selected this text, and I'm asked for a suggested simplification of that text. Not only from a generative perspective, but adding that as a comment. It's still thinking. And let's wait for that. But that was just to introduce the fact that it's not only a generative text in a specific section, but it's very much integrated with the tool functionalities and with the tool building blocks. It is not, and so I don't know if it's a network problem. Let's see it later. And so this is to provide an example on how any kind of employee, given a context, can ask for information and have generated information. The second one is a bit more interesting because it's more related with not only from a user perspective, so somebody that needs to have information, but it is from a content owner. So I am the owner of the page itself, and I need to have a support and so an assistant in order to have some additional information. So in this case, the use case is just a PRD, so a product requirement document. It is just pretending that we are part of a company and we have to provide a new image editor in our tool. Again, what I can ask is summarize this page, but we already see something like that. What are the pros and cons? And this is something that it's very useful in order to provide, usually, you know, for a debrief meeting or something like that. Let's see if it works. Here we go. I promise you that it's very quick, so I still don't know if it's the network because I'm a part of the guest. So I just tried before. So let's give, oh, here we go. And so it is, again, generating pros and cons of the whole set of information that we have. And by the way, what we have is the background, what are the objectives for our product, and the user feedback that we received so far. So suggested next step, usually this is, you know, coming from a set of meetings and getting information. And so we have the other steps with the conclusion. The part, again, from a content owner perspective is that, how about if I ask to have milestones and key dates, so start and end, as a table? So start introducing something that is connected within the tool using the building blocks of the tool itself. And what he's providing here is not only a text, but it's actually a building block. So in this case, I can put myself here, the cursor, and I can insert, and I have already a table with a start date and an end date. In that case, I didn't provide any specific information with the dates, but of course it can be taken. And it's creating a table with the milestones that is getting from the context and start and end date. And finally, unfortunately, I have just one hand, so it's take a bit longer for me, and I thank you for your patience. So if I want to have, in this case, the user feedback, I can just select it. And instead of having bullet points, I would like to make it as a table. So working on the selection of my content, I just convert to a table and add a column assigning a suggesting responsible. So not only considering the context itself, not only transforming a bullet list in a table, but also trying to find what is the potential responsible for that specific activity. This is providing a suggesting information, and in that case, I can replace my selection with the actual table, start and end date, and team responsible for that specific activity. Finally, and this is giving a bit more of an information from an AI, it is not just embedding AI capabilities, but actually integrating within the product capabilities. So it is not just kind of having a window with ChatGPT. It is having within the tool itself. And with the AI, we already saw it. And I don't want to bother you with that. But then again, with the AI chat, I can keep on asking and having information. Something from a product perspective is the AI column. And so in this case, let's say that we have customer call notes. Typically, again, every time that I have a meeting, I need to take the minuta of the meeting, and so having all the information. And those are the call notes, so Quaim, Bob, and so on and so forth. So we have the full transcription here. By the way, it can coming from a text recognition, or I just typed it. But I can provide a specific column that it's a text column that is summarize call note in one sentence. And so within the tool itself, the data type of the table can be used as an AI in order to provide contextual information. So in this case, no matter how long is our call, I can say, how is the length, of course, how is the tone, friendly, casual, neutral, and so on and so forth. What is the type, if it has to be, formatted, bullet points, and so on and so forth, so that every time that I provide information, the AI summary is giving me information. And think about how you can extend existing data models with something that is calculated. This is something that I use many times. I mean, I want to have, I don't know, the sentiment with one emoji of how it is going, or something, I don't know, information related with a time zone or a specific country without searching for it and letting the AI sorting it out and putting in the data model itself. Finally, and it's really finally, let me see the time, yep. There is something else, and it's, again, similar to the AI columns, but instead of the data structured, it's part of the page itself. So what I can add here is an AI block. And in the AI block, I will just, okay, let's say that what I want to have here is something that it's useful as a summary of all the information that I have in my table. And so I have to prepare myself for a meeting. I need to provide something on a report perspective. What I'm asking here is change prompt. Write a summary of top 3 feature requests. We are talking about this product, of course, and key themes from a customer call notes, which is the table. So I can just say that the context is the table. Group by feature request tag and bold it. So here we go. And I have a kind of a summary reference of what it's inside of the table, grouped by what are the main relevant tags at that point. I'm just curious, and this is something that I shouldn't do that, but I'm pretty sure that I can even translate it. If it's finishing, here we go. I don't know if it works, so I would expect it doesn't. Okay, it is something that, and this is just to close the overall perspective on how you can rely on AI content and AI knowledge and AI generation, not only from a question to answer perspective, and not only from a content generation perspective within the document itself, but it's fully embedded in the what it's called the building blocks at Coda, so within the tables and within the canvas.
Just to say a small word, I've used this feature in French, and it works if the text is in French.
Well, yeah,
So
yeah, sure.
it's usable in French.
I would expect maybe we can just try with translate that in French, so it is likely that it's. So it was just came to my mind where I was doing it. But yeah, thank you by the way, Elise. I mean, being Coda is still not localized in other languages. It's still in English, but obviously you can rely on the content generation in different languages. And that's it for the presentation on the AI perspective. So let's go back. Not here, but here we go. And I give back the word to Luca.
And I will give it to Elise.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Elise, it's your turn.
Yeah, thank you very much for the Coda AI presentation. But Coda is not only AI features. Like at La Chaise Bascule, we use Coda AI to manage all the agency, because we are a no-code agency, positive impact no-code agency. So, but yeah, we have the same problem than other agencies and other team groups. So we use Coda to project time tracking, activity dashboard, but also collaboration, task management, client portals, CRM, and also for documentation. So you can see that we can make graphs, we can make dashboard with numbers, and yeah, like it's a perfect all-in-one tool for our agency.
Yeah, like maybe you could ask, you seen the presentation with AI, and I was thinking that, okay, since we have this this content, this AI generated content, what can we do with that? And I just wanted to have a word on the integration capabilities of Coda. So when you have that, you can imagine that this Coda is a very easy to connect tool to another tools. So you can imagine that the feedback from the client could come from a form or from another tool that get in the table in Coda, and the AI column in Coda is getting is analyzing the feedback, giving the main topics of the feedback, determining if the feedback is positive or negative, and then you can imagine with the automation within Coda to maybe send an email to the manager saying there is a negative feedback containing this and this thing. Do you want to automate the answer? Do we want to send this email? Do we want to investigate further? And so I think Coda it's a great tool for managing everyday tasks, as long as you can connect it to really a lot of other tools. And myself, for my personal website, I use Coda as a content management system that has a two-way sync with my internet website made on Webflow. And really, this use case, without Coda, before I use Coda, I did not manage quite easily to manage my content in Notion or Airtable and have this two-way sync with Webflow. And as a final word, what I'm talking about is about all the packs in Coda that are really custom-made integration with other tools, and that might be another door into Coda according to your needs. If you want really this vision of the tool that manage all in one place, as a personal experience, Coda was the most capable tool to centralize all these needs, all this information, and automate my workflow and to manage my contents and so many other use cases.
So if you have any questions about what you can do with Coda, any projects in mind, don't hesitate to send us an email, contact@lachaisebascule.tech, or we have a booth if you want to talk to Coda with us. We still have 1 or 2 hours. And yeah, just to talk a bit about Coda tout simplement. It's like a YouTube channel that we just launched and the goal is to share content in French about Coda. So yeah, let's join us, and also we have a Discord channel, so you can come and ask questions about Coda. Yeah, so thank you very much. If you have any questions, just ask.
Thank you. Here we go. It's Valérie.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I have a question regarding AI. I wanted to know what LLM you are using currently, OpenAI?
OpenAI.
Okay.
It is.
Did you have the opportunity to test other LLMs, like Llama, for instance? And can you share what you noticed regarding the differences in terms of performance or even the results? Were they better? Well, I mean, what is your experience?
Oh, okay. I would love to share it with you, but I'm not directly involved in the AI development. However, it is something that if you want to reach in the community, it is something that it's broadly answer. So right now we are relying on OpenAI, but I know for sure that we are keep on testing on all the potential either integrated or alternative alternatives. So I don't know how to say, because I don't know what are the performances and I don't know what is the timeline and the evolution and the roadmap on the others. But you can get in touch with the community, so and maybe ask directly to the members.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
It's okay, thank you.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
I have a question. What is specifications for transfer at Notion into Coda?
Okay. So in terms of migrating from Notion to Coda, there are a couple of, by the way, very recent posts that have been done by a person. Obviously, it's biased. It's from within Coda, but he does know very, very well Notion. And so we provided different resources, both from pure data migration, so you know, from tables to tables, but also from a use case perspective. Very rarely we know that if we want to migrate from one tool to the other, it's not just data perspective, it is just understanding the full process, the workflow and the implications, because the tools are different. So I would warmly suggest you to see what are the posts of Coda versus Notion and the differences between the two tools. And it is also providing a full spectrum on how to migrate from one to the other. But I can tell you that we are obviously investing a lot of energy on that, because many customers are asking this, luckily. Thank you.
I have two questions. The first one is the easiest. I wonder if I connect maybe my OneDrive to Coda, is the AI assistant gonna work with my files that are on the drive, or do I need to integrate them on my Coda doc? That's the first question. The second is, I've kind of been in love with Coda since like 2019, you know, through the Skillshare course of Alchen, I think that's his name.
Yes.
But I was never able to make it stick. Like every time there's a new feature, I'm all excited and I'm like, I'm gonna do this and that, and I never managed to make it work, and it doesn't stick. So do you have advice on, you know, when, you know, I don't know, what's wrong with me? I mean, why I can't seem to make it stick, why I can seem to do what I want to do in Coda. Do you have like some mindset or methodology tricks? Because I really love the tool. I'm a fan, actually, but I never managed to make it work or to realize my projects in Coda.
Okay, so the first question related with other integrated tools. Let's say that it really depends what is the kind of integration. So obviously the AI model relies on the information that it has within the document, and even if you can have, so the question, by the way, to everybody, in Coda it is possible to integrate with other tools, and there are two ways of integrating. The first one is having what are called embedded pages, so it's kind of having another page that is coming from another tool, and the other one is via packs. So packs are a way to integrate via either formulas or tables within Coda. So it really depends what is the kind of integration that you need to have. If it is a pack, it is likely to be considered as a source point. If it is just an embedded page, you can see it from within Coda, but you don't have access to that. So there is a distinction, and perhaps maybe we can talk later, you know, go into the details to better understand. The second question, it's a bit more complex, as you anticipated, by the way. So I really would like to understand what is your experience, because as far as I can see, Coda is quite simple, even in the most difficult ways of using that. So I don't think there is nothing wrong with you, totally. It is just the use case that perhaps is not super familiar. And so how about if you just tell me, and maybe we can talk to see how to you know, to sort it out. Usually, you know, Coda features tend to be very, very extensively tested. Then there is a long process of beta testing with some users, and so I'm confident to say that all the features should be quite stable. But then again, it really depends on the context and on the use case. Happy to dig into that. Oh, Pigeon.
The example that you showed where you added like a column and asking for a summary of something else, is it dynamically related to the source? Meaning if you change the initial one, does it change the summary also?
Yeah, so everything that is related with the Coda blocks, and so the building blocks, can be either one-off or dynamic. So it really depends in that case what kind of output you want to have. But in the example that I did, so usually summary rows do make sense that every time that I change the source, the outcome will change as well. And so in that case, and it's just a toggle, so every time that you change the source, the generation is recalculated every time. And you can have also a chained columns, you know. You can have a AI column that is a source of another AI columns, and so on and so forth. And all the chain will be triggered.
Is Coda usable offline?
Yes, Coda is usable offline, and so you can have it outside of any connection. And when you get online again, you will have the full synchronization in case someone else is using. It is since a while, by the way, so it is working very well. Awesome. And by the way, if you still have questions and you know, I mean, if you want to know some more, by the way, Coda has a lot of resources. If you already browse coda.io, you can have a gallery that, by the way, with the launch of 4.0, the Pigeon is really interested in what we're saying. It has been redesigned with a lot of resources. And there is a very, very active and super nice community, I like to say. I was part of the community very, very actively up until a few years ago. It's really full of nice people, not judging and helping, I can tell you. So from a maker perspective, rely on that. However, if you scan this code and you provide your information, we are happy to connect with you. I mean, also the Chaise Bascule from a local perspective. But we will see it. I mean, if you have any questions or you want to be contacted, please just do it, and happy to help you.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, Federico. You have a further question?
Oh, I didn't see that. I'm sorry.
We still have a little bit of time.
Thank you. Just have a question about the Coda. And it seems like a lot as a tool, what is the name? Evernote. And is there any difference between Evernote and Coda? And about the community, is there many templates?
Okay, the question is that, is there any connection or it is a similarity between Evernote and Coda? I would say that there are quite different tools. Evernote has been mainly used as a personal space for note-taking. Obviously, it evolved quite a lot, and it became quite horizontal on from personal to business perspective. Coda is mainly born as a business tool, and especially on enterprise and corporates first, even though it's very, very useful for personal purposes or small teams, but it's very, very much focused and designed in order to integrate with corporate and business processes. So I would say that even though there could be a lot of use cases that are similar, you know, journaling or providing meeting notes or something like that, Coda is much more oriented on an overall enterprise process perspective. So a source of data and connecting other tools in order to have a full process. A huge part, and maybe you can talk later with what La Chaise Bascule is providing, is on automation processes. And code automation is really very, very strong and powerful.
Okay. And do you have, about the resources, is there any template, a big community?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you browse and you go on the gallery of Coda, you will see, and you search specifically for that kind of template, you have many of them.
Yeah.
And
yeah, there is. Sorry.
oh, sorry.
There is Coda Gallery, and yeah, in French you can. you can. There are already some of videos in Coda tout simplement in French about Coda, like how to use it, how to generate docs from Coda, how to automate our task, and if you have questions, you can ask them on Discord in French. But also Coda has the gallery. For all the templates, but mostly in English, maybe.
Yeah, well, it's mostly in English, as it is the community. So
yeah,
it's
and
community.coda.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
And you have a big community forum, like a big community.
Yeah, if you go to community.coda.io, it's a very big and very active community. So it's unlikely other situation. It's very reactive, and many codans are going there very often. So, but it's in English.
At this QR code is there is a little form, and if you put your email, we're gonna send you the link of the community, the Discord, YouTube, so that you have all the links.
Any other questions?
Federico, do you think we will have a way to generate application with AI prompts there in the future?
Well, oops. So it's time's up. Yeah. So I think that I don't like. Oh, by the way, it's yeah. I don't like to be the ones that say, okay, now we see that with the AI. I like to see things are happening. I have the feeling that there is obviously a big shift right now, and we all have the feeling that it will definitely change the way that we see our daily work from a productivity perspective. Let's be part of this. And see how it goes. And so let's just ride it. I don't know. I don't like to predict the future because I'm always wrong. But thank you. And by the way, just to before, I mean, I know it's not a big deal, but I can tell you, even from an employee of Coda, having little swags from Coda is very, very hard. It's really very hard, even internally. So I had the chance to take some stickers with me, and you can come and pick them. I mean, they're very rare.
They have economic value. Maybe you can resell them. And you also have our stickers at the end and our cards. Sorry. Our cards to contact us with all the information of contact with Felice. There is at the top of the escalier. The stairs.